Welcome to RunLeadGen Radio, your go-to podcast for all things digital marketing and growing your business with your hosts, Quinn
and Brian.
You guys might see that things look a little different today. We are doing our darndest to try to up production quality and also just increase the value of what this podcast has to bring.
Well, I personally have also thought that it's just been a really fun learning experience as far as A, creating content, but also B, what goes into making quality content, whether that's a podcast, audio, video, photography, and there's a huge overlap there with digital marketing, obviously. And so from that standpoint alone, I think it's been a really fun journey to get to where we've landed today, where we're kind of kicking off this new season, as we're calling it, where we basically started all new with a whole new everything, right? So
exactly. Yeah, exactly right. So I think what we want to communicate in this kind of final episode of this first season is, hey, if you're a business owner or you're a marketer for a business, or you are a partner in a business where you are in charge of the growth, this is the type of podcast that you want to be following. Why? Number one, we're going to be talking about everything that we're doing, A, as business owners to grow our own business, but then B, we're at a place now where we've got lots of clients that we're growing their businesses. What's working for clients? So if you are a growth-minded business owner or partner or marketer, you want to have in your ear a podcast or many podcasts at any given time kind of speaking the language of business growth, business development. You want to inundate yourself with those types of conversations. A, they're going to keep your ideas and opportunities flowing and growing. We do that ourselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for me personally, there are a lot of creators in that space that I'm listening to or following along with, whether it's during the workday or even in the evening. I might be a little bit obsessed with some of it, but from that standpoint, I'm able to find out what's happening and what's new. And, it really does add value to what we do every day. And so I think we have value like that to offer other people that are growing their business and into digital marketing, web development. I mean, it overlaps with so many different avenues. So yeah, I think that's exactly who this podcast is right for.
Yeah. And I think this is also an ode to kind of sticking to your guns, putting your money where your mouth is. Like, we are marketers growing our businesses and growing our clients' businesses in a world where content is king. So it would be sacrilegious, it would be Hippocratic if we did not also, put our shoulder to the wheel and sit here and create content that is going to be of value, enticing, entertaining, and, speaking to the things that we're trying to have our partners and our clients do as well.
Right. And I think there's a lot to say about transparency, right? So there is a clear line with whatever you're consuming or buying or engaging with, that the higher quality gets more transparency, because lower quality, they don't want that level of resolution. And I think there's a really cool thing happening online right now, which is kind of like this build in public and show people what you're doing. Other people can learn. We're not trying to gatekeep and say, well, we've figured out the super secret and now no one else comes up behind us. It's more like, hey, this is how we're doing it. Maybe you can learn from it. Hopefully we can learn from you, because I know I'm learning from others that are doing a similar thing there. And I think A, it's really cool. And B, it's also helping me personally flex a content muscle that over the years I have slowly stopped flexing, at least from a creative standpoint. And so I think for keeping those creative juices flowing, it's an important muscle to flex. So
Yeah, I think inherently, in doing this, we are, it's kind of that concept of like the professor, right? You can have a 25-year-old professor who's not gone and done anything, and they've got the theory and the book, and they've studied a lot, and then you get that professor that comes in, and he's gone and built a business. Or she's gone and built a business, and they've built all this experience. They bring so much relevance to teach, and so here we are, not only just saying how content's important and how to optimize it so that Google is able to index and search or paid social, but we're going to go out and we want to show, figure out what's hard, what works. And so we're doing this with our clients and now for ourselves as well. Something that I want to talk about is, this is not, we are not novices, or I would say naive to the fact that we do speak a lot about agencies. We are in the agency space as heavy as you can be. We speak with other agencies all the time. We're in groups with agencies. We've worked for agencies, in the past in our career development. We are not naive to the fact that we are kind of coming at the industry a little bit with our dukes raised, and we're saying, hey, I think agencies can do better. We want to see agencies do better, and not just us. We want to raise the standard of the industry as well. And so what we hope anybody that's watching gets out of this is we really want you to come to the table and kind of have the experience that we're having offline. Brian gets calls often. We've had calls in the past where people just can't figure out some attribution, some Google Analytics connection, some Power BI thing. And we've helped other agencies. We've helped competing people. We've helped other business owners in general with some really in-depth, difficult things. And so we hope to come to the table with some content where we're talking about these in-the-weeds things that we're learning and doing, things that are working. Let's bring business owners on, our clients or otherwise, and talk about what's working for them. And then hopefully facilitate the kind of conversations that are happening offline also now online. We want people reaching out to us on YouTube. We want people reaching out to us via our website and saying, I'm stuck on this thing. We want to just grow our relationships in general. And then, of course, keep providing just fantastic, cutting edge, frontline stuff when it comes to business growth and marketing. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, and I would kind of wrap that all up in a ball. And it's easy to say value, but what you said about, Duke's up in regards to other agencies, that's what always spurs things moving forward and improving, is somebody saying, hey, I can do it better. And that's really what we've been trying to do. And it's an evolving process for us. But yeah, this podcast, I feel like, has become a really cool lens into that. And I think historically on some of the previous episodes, we've kind of talked about things and said, oh, we spoke to this person, or, and there was some ambiguity there. And I'm excited to, and take away that ambiguity and bring that story and experience front and center for everybody else, so that other people can follow along and take that same path, right? Because, we're probably not unique in being able to help business owners find success, but, not every path is the same. And where we've found, whether you want to call it good luck or success, or really been able to help change things, I hope that others can learn from that, because I know that's value I've gotten from others myself. And so it's also kind of like a pass it along, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the last thing I'll say before we dive into the content today we just want to talk a little bit about kind of the landscape of digital marketing, agencies. So before we dive into that, I do want to say we would also encourage competition. We would encourage other agencies to like and subscribe and follow because we would love to open up conversations. If we are coming to the table with our dukes up and we've got something maybe wrong, we'd love to hear it. What's your perspective on some of the things that we're going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I think one experience that I had that was like that online recently was, and for us, it's always about we help business owners and we bring them value, and how each and every different person does that is great. But so, people talking about getting new reviews, and someone had posted in a comment, oh, I do these tap to review cards. You can buy them. They're $10 a month. And I responded, oh yeah, we actually give those out for free. Not trying to downplay what he was doing, but just to say there is value there and people should be getting these and using these. But so it is easy to see that as a perception of dukes out, and because the guy was very defensive after that. But I think, right now you and I are in a mindset that might be different from other agencies that historically have tried to be a black box or, pull up the ladder behind them type of scenario, where we're just saying, what can we do to bring value? Because we know that's what's going to work the best. We'll earn business. We'll help people, whether they're working with us or not, because there's always something that comes of it. And so, yeah, I think it's awesome.
So you guys, I think part of this, we're calling this the final episode of season 1, which had a vibe and a kind of an agenda about it that we want to deviate from. One of those being it's not really a presentation. We don't want to, we'll put out YouTube videos that are going to be very specific to how-tos, and we want to help people get, very step-by-step pieces of content that is related to our industry as well. But this podcast, we really want to kind of let our guard down a little bit, be a little bit more transparent with our audience, and also just bring a little bit more casualness to, that's what we're seeing. So, transparently, that's what we're seeing work for podcasts is personality, a little bit of just personal life in general, and to let people connect with us. And so we want to bring some of that as well to the podcast, and hopefully that's coming across. To give you some context here, just to get the production quality that we have now versus what we had before, it's a lot of work that in theory, on paper, as marketers, we could tell a business owner, here's what you should do. We've seen this and we've done this. But as far as our own production quality we could tell you guys, we hope that you ask us questions. What mics are we using? We've got the Rodecaster Pro here. We've got the Sony A7S III. There's a lot of things that just go into this production quality that people don't even realize that they would have to do to consider content creation. So this is the kind of stuff that we're trying to exude in the podcast. It's hey, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's help people get past some of the roadblocks that are out there for growing their business and producing good quality content, etc.
Right. There's, for us, been a time, a financial investment, as well as the whole learning curve. And I know in other avenues, I've had that learning curve shortened for me by people who have done it before. And so I think that's going to be a great thing for others, hopefully. And then, I think getting away from doing more of a presentation is better for the listener, right? Because before we would kind of have maybe a bullet point list of, hey, what do we want to make sure to cover for this topic? And maybe it's because we're talking about Google Search Console or something where that's important. And in this new season, I think we're trying to more tell a story as well, right? Whether that's our brand story, others' journey as business owners, but more dialogue. So,
yeah. So I think we'll kind of dive into some questions and stuff and see if we can get a little conversation going. Season 2, episode 1, we're actually going to bring in one of our most successful clients. He went from, it's rags to riches story. He is, he's literally just lived the American dream. He's grown a massive business around shipping containers. We want to talk to him about what worked for him, what pitfalls did he run into, talk to him about how, the marketing in general that we've been a partner with him in. So that's what we want you guys to look forward to. That's why we want you to like and subscribe, because we're gonna come to the table with stuff that's cutting edge. People today, young people, old people, everybody. We're physically located in Salt Lake City, Utah, but we've worked with businesses across the United States, large companies, enterprise level, down to mom and pop shops. We're gonna try to bring in all these perspectives, show you what's working, what can be out there. Live the dream, go after what you want, and we're gonna talk about all that.
Right. And I think that people themselves that all have their own story is really interesting to see how that plays in, right? Because for this next episode, he's a first generation immigrant. He came here and did this all from scratch. And so, I think it's really exciting, and it's a great story to share with others. And he's an awesome guy.
Right.
And we're looking for more and more of those opportunities of, what's the great story to tell from this company or from this person, because behind all of them are people, and everybody is unique in their own little way and has their own story. And so I think it's awesome.
Yeah, so hit us up if you're looking for a collaboration or you want to be featured and we can talk about your story. Let's hear about it. And then, of course, anytime you guys have any feedback or comments, leave them for us as well. So let's get into it. One of the conversations we've been having a lot lately is the marketing industry and how they're kind of failing people. And we're speaking generically. Obviously, there are marketers out there that do fantastic jobs. I mean, businesses are growing. People are getting in the index. People are working hard. So there are plenty of people out there that are doing good. But from the perspective of like industry standard, I think we just see so much bad.
Well, so there's something happening online right now, right, where people don't want to do the normal 9 to 5, and they've come up with all these different ways to earn money online or make money, and they've got a playbook for you. So here's your Amazon fulfilled by Amazon playbook. Go and buy this, go and list it here, take the profit out. But there's also out there now kind of like an agency playbook. And some of the people that are designing those playbooks, and if you want to say that, or, teaching others, monetizing, teaching others how to start an agency and make money, they kind of are teaching like a get rich quick scheme type of thing. Like you get this many number of clients this fast, and you outsource X, Y, and Z, and then you sell. But
it's almost this multi-level like facade. Sometimes I see like, oh, I'll teach you how to make $100,000 a month in 12 months. And it's just going out telling people how you're going to teach them how to make $100,000 in 12 months. So it's just perpetually teaching people about how to make money. And the way that they're making money is teaching other people how to make money. And it becomes a multi-level marketing type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And also at the same time, some of these agencies, they're being taught bad practices. And things that maybe it's good for their bottom line, but it possibly isn't good for the people they work with, their clients. They're they're less worried about the value and more worried about their bottom line and how quickly they get to point X. And you had mentioned something to me the other day about like job titles, and there's these agencies that are doing crazy job titles so that they can kind of manipulate
it's super unfortunate.
Compensation negotiations.
And we see a lot of these like weird tactics that kind of arise for the sake of the bottom line. And so we kind of come to the table, as many do, right? A lot of business owners come to the table feeling like, I've got a better mousetrap, I can do this better. And we kind of had this admirable like superhero approach that we could do it better than other agencies. And frankly, we then get met with some of the headwinds and pitfalls that some of these quick wins could mitigate. But it is all about building something that's foundational, something that's substantial. So yeah, the example is we watched a video or a podcast, and we won't call out any names, but they had another agency owner on. They were talking about things that they'd learned, things that went well, things that did not go well. And one of them was like, we just went over to NASA and grabbed a bunch of like arbitrary titles for roles. And it was like, yeah, you can be mission controller. And at first it was like kind of playful, and I thought, oh, that could be fun. And then somebody actually made the comment, one, made it out loud, two, on like a platform like YouTube where everybody's seeing, that they essentially gave their internal employee a role that was arbitrary so that they couldn't go look up their counterpart like on LinkedIn and get an idea of what they're worth. And I'm like, what kind of world have we created where we're giving people fake role names so that they can't grow a career in that, and we're going to just hold them to this. And now when it's time for them to go somewhere else, or they want to go be a marketer or a SEO specialist or a content writer, they've got in their repertoire of titles mission control. It's like, what? You've done nobody a service, and all for the sake of now them not, getting more money out of you. It's just, and so we see this all the time. We see these little tricks and things that agencies are explicitly telling the world that they're doing, and we're saying, what? How is this happening?
Right. And I think the better mousetrap thing, there's a lot there where, doing it better, sometimes we come and find out, yeah, we're doing it better, but we now clearly see the reason why they would always outsource X, or why they only have this many touch points with their clients, or, there's a lot there that I think we're doing much better, but I can totally see, like you said, the headwinds. And, but I think one thing that we can be sure of is that they're having something that is built for the future and foundational versus an exit there's a big difference in that. And that includes like how you treat the people that work for you. So,
yeah. And we'll be transparent, right? Our goal is to hire marketers that are coming out of college, marketers that have some, experience in marketing, that want to do marketing. Why wouldn't we put marketers in a marketing agency on clients that need marketing, right? Instead of these, and I know I'm not dogging everybody, I'm sure there are successful models out there, but client success or client retention, and it's like, and then we're outsourcing the fulfillment overseas. And I'm not saying that that's all bad either, but instead of that, we want to get real marketers on clients, and give them titles that are going to help them grow a career with or without us, and do marketing for clients. I mean, go figure. That's what we want to try to do. Now, what are our pitfalls and headwinds? Marketers are expensive, and especially if you're hiring local, talent and good marketers. But the turnaround is that then we have a team of marketers under two, technical, great marketers who've built careers over 30 years experience between the two of us of being those technical marketers, working in-house and in agencies. Now you can see that our team is going to come to the table and we're going to be far more robust than Joe Blow, who just thought, I'm going to make a quick buck. I'm going to start an agency. I'm going to hire overseas and then hire a bunch of, middle managers. I mean, so that's what we're up against. We are trying to, and because of that, we have higher overhead costs. We have a slower growth rate for clients because we can't take on 100 new clients and then just get ready to scale them. We've got to build step by step.
Yeah.
But because of that, we expect to see clients that are happier, clients that are succeeding more, internal employees that are staying longer, that are growing careers, that are growing expertise. It's just the right path for us. And so that's what you can expect to hear from the conversations that we're going to be having. That's what we're coming to the industry saying, hey, industry, hey, marketers, we can do better.
Be
Agency,
better.
Let's be better. And come at us and tell us, maybe it does come with like some things that are going to be harder, and maybe we can find some middle ground, and there are better ways to do it than what we've got. But
right, I wouldn't be surprised if we somehow have on some rose-colored glasses, and there are people out there that can say, "Oh, you just haven't had this or that happen yet," right? But for the time being, we're just doing it brick by brick and just trying to do the best we can. So
yeah. Well, cool. I hope this has been a little enlightening. I hope this has been a better, more entertaining podcast episode. Really, this is also kind of our debut with new production quality stuff. So we're just checking to see, how does this look? How does this sound? Does the vibe fit what we're trying to go after? We've got some tips or some things to kind of tweak to get this going. But yeah, every week you should expect to see some sort of content coming out from the podcast, whether it's from business owners, some example of something that we worked on, or otherwise that's going to help you kind of come up, ideate with some opportunities that you can go and build your business better. We encourage you to like and follow and subscribe if this is the kind of stuff that you're interested in. And also have patience with us a little bit, because the only way this is going to work for us and for you to be a mutually beneficial relationship for podcaster and podcast listener is going to be to have patience with us and come back to us with, commentary and feedback. I mean, today alone, we've got construction going on. Hopefully you didn't catch a lot of that. I've noticed there's like a fly flying around in here. We've got things we got to work on, but stick with us, because I guarantee you, if you do, in the next year, 2 years, and 5 years, your business will grow, your career will grow, we'll be growing, and the tide rises for us all. So stick around, and this is RunLeadGen Radio, where we help you scale to success.